All right. All right, guys. Sorry about the late start. We got Mrs. Lola Haynes in the house. And I have been advertising Lola High, but it's really Lola Haynes. But thank
Yeah.
you, Lola, for being on here. Would you introduce yourself to everybody?
Yeah. Hey, everybody. My name is Lola Haynes. I am the owner and founder of Legacy Ventures LLC, which me and my husband we both co-own.
Okay. All right. And so, Lola, what do you do? What were you doing before you found out about mobile home investing? And how did you find out about mobile home investing?
Yeah. So I still work my regular 9 to 5
Uh-huh.
currently. I'm an accountant, an auditor, and a financial systems consultant. I still do that as my regular 9 to 5, and then I use my W-2 money to fund my side job, which is mobile home investing. With my goal is to quit my job within the next year or so. So
Okay.
I'm
All right.
planning.
All right. All right.
I came into mobile home investing actually during a time of need. During COVID, my husband lost his job. He was on this job for 8.5 years, and they let him go like a fly, a piece of trash. So
Wow.
we were trying to figure out, oh my goodness, what we're gonna do. It's COVID. Um, just in really in a time of distress, and it was actually like a advertisement that I saw for mobile home investing with some other investors, and I'm like, it happened like an epiphany. I told my husband like, hey, you're not going to go back to work. We're going to get into this mobile home investing because we have been wanting to get into real estate for a long time, but the to start out in real estate requires a high capital that we didn't have at the time. So I told him like, listen, we know about mobile homes. We went to school with people who lived in we called them trailer parks at that time. So
Right.
we went to school with people that lived in the trailer parks or whatever. So I'm like, hey, we're gonna use this as like a low entry point and then capitalize off of that and use that as our segue to get into real estate investing. So that's how I got into it initially.
Okay. And so, Lola, how many properties do you and your husband own as of today?
We are buying and holding two. I just sold two last week, and I have one on the market right now. And then I have a couple wholesale deals going on, like 4 wholesale deals going on currently.
Yeah, because I'm like every time I turn around, I see I see you to post another wholesale deal. I'm like, man, I'm like, you are killing the game. That's why I reached out to you. I said, I had to get Lola on here to do her interview, but you were
Yeah,
kind of sick at the time, so you couldn't do it. And hopefully you're feeling better. So we glad we got you on here.
yeah, a
So
lot.
yeah. So Lola, did your husband ever go back to work or is he doing this full time?
Nope, he hasn't went back to work, and it's actually a blessing because the first home that we ever purchased, which was from another investor who actually gave us I call it an alley oop. She gave us a home that she was selling, and we decided we were going to flip it. It needed new flooring, new carpeting. It needed to be painted, some drought, some old leakage, and the
Uh-huh.
drywall needed to be replaced. So he got that firsthand experience doing that, and now he flips cover homes and he does repairs, handyman repairs. Just an
Wow.
hour ago, um, we have advertisements, and someone up to us randomly and said, "Hey, can you come in my home? I need some floors replaced." And he just signed a $700 contract tomorrow just to do a small job.
Wow, that's impressive. So was
Yeah.
he already like handy before or because of the mobile home bit?
Listen, no, he was not handy, and in fact, I kind of felt like he kind of catfished me because prior to that, we owned a home and stuff like that. So when something would break, he'd be like, "All right, we got to call somebody," and this, that, and third. But with
That's
the
fun.
mobile homes, like he knows how to fix plumbing, he knows how to do electrical, he knows how to do drywall, flooring, all that. I'm like, were you acting the entire time? Like, yeah. So I don't
Wow.
know. Maybe I think being unemployed really, you know, caused a shift in him, and
Uh-huh.
he's like, yeah, I'm not letting another employer do that to me because he thought that since he had 8, 9 years that and it was a COVID related reason why he was let go.
Okay.
That they would, give him some leeway because he was one of the best workers that they had working sometimes 80 hours a week.
Wow.
They still let him go. So I think that mobile home investment gave him the push that he needed, to make him become a better man, essentially.
Right. This sounds like it. So, Lola, how are you going about finding these deals? Because, like I say, every time I turn around, some pops up on my Facebook. She got another one. I'm like, man, she's killing it. How are you going about finding these deals?
To be honest, it's nothing but God because they just come to me. To be honest, at first I used to feel like I used to have to put in a lot of effort just to try to get a deal, but now I feel like I've only been in mobile home investing about a year now, not even a true year. But I think it's getting out there, making relationships, getting in touch with people, just letting people know who you are. We advertise wherever, whenever we can, shamelessly. I get people who say, "Hey, I just saw you walking past. You sell mobile homes?" So like I get random calls like that all the time.
Mm-hmm. What do you have an advertisement or something on your car, or what are you
I
putting
have
out
a
bandit sign?
I have a car. I haven't, to be honest, I haven't did the bandit signs. I've made the bandit signs. I haven't, and I have zip ties. I haven't put them up yet.
Yeah.
But the car magnet works very well for us, very very well. Um, and we're always ripping and running, like from work to taking the kids to practice, going to my mom's house, going like so we get a lot of exposure. Um,
Right, right.
yeah.
And what about, did you find it difficult? Because I notice a lot of people in this business, they were like scared to talk to the park manager. Do you have any difficulties? Did you notice any, situations you want to talk about, like talking to the park manager?
So you can get those. You do get some of those park managers that talk with ego, and when I encounter them, I just keep my composure, and just let them know, like, hey, I'm not here to step on your toes. I'm actually trying to bring value to your park. These are the
Mm-hmm.
ways that I can help you. So if that's something that you're interested in, whether it's now or in the future, keep me in mind. And then I feel like the key is in the follow up. So
Mm-hmm.
I may get a note today, but I'll probably try to stop by a month or a couple of weeks later and say, hey, just checking in to see if you have any updates. That's actually how I acquired my third home, actually.
Mm. And you know what, Lola, what I really like about how you doing stuff, you don't say I call a park manager on the phone. You actually go in there in person, and that is, to me, that is so key. Calling somebody on the phone, I think that's pretty weak. And I like how you go about you talking to these people in person. You ain't calling nobody on the phone. You ain't wasting no time. And I think that's how you getting a lot of deals, because you meet these people in person. So
Yeah, because I'm initially when I was first starting out, calling on the phone was very safe. So I did call on the phone. And sometimes to get those notes to try to get a feel for so me, I try to like learn from every experience. So if I make a phone call and the park manager turns me down or they're being nasty or whatnot, I feel like that's practice. Okay, I'm going to
mm,
take that, build upon it with my next interaction, whether it's the same park manager or a different park. So I use the phone calls in the beginning as practice.
okay.
Calling parks that I knew that was like in far Indiana that I knew I wasn't going down there just to see what they would say.
Right, right. So Lola, exactly what locations are you doing business out of?
Um, Wherever they will have me, but
I mean, how far will you go? I mean,
I mean, right now I'm like the farthest I've ever been is 4 hours.
4 hours away. Okay. And
Mhm.
and how does that work with your husband in doing the handyman work? He's cool with that, 4 hours away. That's a nice little distance. And you got the kids
He's
and
with
everything?
me. He's with
Yeah.
me. So the deal for 4 hours away was a lady that I actually met while I was dropping my daughter off at cheer practice, and she's like, "Hey, you do mobile homes? I need my mobile home remodeled." And it was like 4 hours away in a town that
Mm,
we had never heard of.
okay.
So that's how he got his rehab job. And then, we're husband and wife. So him and his crew, they did the rehab, and I charged a fee on top of that.
Wow, that's
My
amazing.
portion, since I'm not doing, the
Right.
physical. Treatment.
But the properties that you're buying and holding in, you're renting them out, right? Not seller financing? Are you renting or seller financing?
Um, so I purchased one for my mom. So
Nice, nice.
yeah, so that's just there.
Okay, all right.
I'll capitalize off of that once she moves out, or if she ever decides to move out. And
Mm,
I bought it low. It was a really good deal. Couldn't pass it up, and then I think she complains sometimes, but she likes fixing it up, to her liking and stuff like that.
uh-huh.
Um, I do have a double wide in Anderson, Indiana that I purchased, and I'm actually seller financing that one.
Oh, okay. So you don't really have any properties that you're renting out. One your mom is staying in, and the other one you're seller financing. So, Lola, how did that you created your own note, or you got an attorney, or you got a mortgage loan originator? How did you create that note?
I just created my own, to be honest.
Okay.
I ended
Okay.
up, I found I went on like a legal website to get like a template,
Right.
and I found the template that I liked. I researched a couple templates and then, compared them and figured out which one I wanted to use. And then I leveraged the wording in the other templates and then some other small nuances that I wanted to include in the contract
Okay.
uh, as well.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I went about that.
And how much do you mind telling us how much did you pay for that particular mobile home, that double wide?
How much I paid purchased it
Paid
for?
for, uh-huh.
Purchase price was 5,500.
Okay.
Um, all in, all in, we were 14,000.
Okay.
I seller financed it for 48,000.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And how much down?
4,600 down.
4,600 down. Okay.
Mhm.
So you got like a third of your money back
Yeah,
from the rehab and purchasing it. Uh-huh.
yeah. And to be honest, my seller financing contract is like over 7 years. I'm actually praying that they leave in like 3 to 4, so
Right.
so that I can
So
just
you can
rinse
rinse
and
and repeat.
repeat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
rinse and
So
repeat.
yeah.
And hopefully you won't have to get an attorney to get them out of there because then that's gonna cut into your profit as well.
Yeah, but I have an attorney and she's locked and loaded. She's a pit bull, so we'll
All
deal
right.
with it as they come.
All right. I might have to be calling you for that telephone number because the one I got, I'm not too sure about her. So, Lola, are you and your husband, either one of y'all licensed to buy and sell mobile homes? And then how many mobile homes can you buy in the state that you're doing business in?
Yeah, so right now my both of my all of my deals what I purchased are in Illinois and Indiana. In Illinois, the cap is 6.
Okay.
So I haven't hit that yet. And then in Indiana, the cap is 9. So I feel like I have a bunch of wiggle room to play with,
Okay.
that I'm comfortable playing with at this point in time. But
Okay.
if need be, I don't have issue, getting a license and whatnot
Hmm.
in either of those states because they've been good to me.
Okay. And so in let's start with Illinois. How do you guys go about closing the deals in Illinois? As far as y'all go to the DMV, how do you check the taxes and all that good stuff?
So whenever I have a seller reach out that they want to sell their home, I inquire. I have like a standard template that I do to make sure that I inquire. What kind of repairs do you have? Do you owe any back lot rent, back taxes? Um, and to be honest, in Illinois, some of the mobile home, depending on which county you're in, some of the mobile homes don't even have taxes. In Cook County, you don't have taxes, but if you go a little bit north up to like Rockford, Loves Parks, they do have annual taxes due on the
Mm-hmm.
mobile.
Mm-hmm.
Um, at closing, now that I'm thinking about it, all of my Indiana properties were purchased from the park.
Mm-hmm. So you don't have to go to the DMV or anything like that in Illinois nor Indiana?
I would suggest doing so, but it just so happens to with the deals that I have, the park had all of that information available,
Mm, okay.
as far as like back taxes that we're due and whatnot. So I factor that into my purchase price whenever I make an offer.
Oh, okay.
However, in Indiana, the home that I purchased there, I did go to the tax assessor's website. I was able to look it up via address. And then from there, I just actually called the assessor, because on
Mm-hmm.
the website, it appeared as if there was like $1,000 in back taxes due. But once I
Mm-hmm.
actually called the clerk, actually, it was probably like $300 at the most.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. So yeah, so it's very important to, discover that because you think you might be getting a deal and then next thing you know, this person owes a lot of money and you might be stuck with it.
Yeah, and full disclosure, Indiana was probably like my fifth deal, and because I was so used to not having to go to research the property taxes in Illinois because of whether they don't apply or they were just so little,
Mm-hmm.
actually made an offer. My offer was accepted, and then I purchased it from the person that I purchased it from informed me that I needed to pay the back lot rent
Mm-hmm.
and the back taxes on the home. And I was like, oh my goodness, I didn't search it. So I didn't really do my full due diligence on the Indiana deal. Thankfully it worked in my favor and it didn't, kill my deal.
Right.
Um, but it could have turned out bad because when I went on their website and it said $1,500, I was like, oh man.
Been there, done that.
Yeah, so I got a little sticker shock. So now I always try to, contact the assessor's office just to see if the property taxes apply. And then I always touch base with, I ask the buyer to give me permission to speak with the park manager so that they can release the information to me whether the home has any back rent.
Right, right. And that's why I understand how people try to surpass the park manager. If you try to do that, you're not gonna know if there's any back rent if you don't talk to him. So
Yeah,
you got to talk to him eventually. So you might as well start off talking to him. That's my
yeah.
mindset. That's my mind. So, is this double wide that you paid 5,500 for, and you'll be getting 48,000? It was any interest added into that, or is that
So initially I posted the home for 46,000. It was on the market when I first started marketing it. I started marketing it as like a full cash deal for $46,000. I was getting a lot of hits, but no, really didn't get anybody serious. So after about a month and a half of it being on the market, I just had to go back to the drawing table. I'm like, okay, let me decrease the price a little bit. So I decreased it to 43,000.
okay?
Still had the same result. And I'm like, all right, let me pivot again. Let me try to seller finance this and just market it as $900 a month. And
Uh-huh.
that was the big fish. I probably got about 300 hits off of that. So many inquiries and requests to view at the open house that my assistant was like, "You need to slow down. There's too many people here." So
Wow, that's
yeah.
amazing. That's amazing. So Lola, have you ever gotten any free mobile homes?
Um, free. No, free as in zero. No,
Okay.
cheapest
Okay.
one was like $300.
Oh, okay. You can't get that's pretty close to
Yeah,
free.
yeah.
So Lola, before we got on here, you had told me that you were running into some obstacles in the mobile home business, and I would like for you to expand on that because I don't want everybody to think, oh, the mobile home business is, you have no issues because you do.
Yeah,
So can you tell us what happened?
yeah. So I think I was just reaching a point, and this was very, very recent, about a week and a half ago. Actually, I was feeling very discouraged. Part of the situation that I was in is that I had so much capital and I was coming into these great deals that I couldn't pass up. That I had 5 homes at one time, so I was paying essentially about almost $3,000 in lot rent a month. So it just started to be a little discouraging when my homes went on the market and they weren't selling as fast as I thought they should
Mm,
sell.
uh-huh.
So it got a little discouraging, and then every time the first route rolled around, I was like, oh my goodness, I have to pay all this money in lot rent. I'm not getting any serious buyers. So,
Mm-hmm.
but I just kept on praying, kept my faith. Even when I did feel like I was at my lowest with mobile home investing, I've never really been to the point where I felt like I want to give up, get out. I just knew
Right.
that it was just like a season, and literally, I just prayed on it. And the next day, that's when I closed 2 homes in one day.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow. Yeah, I
made
think me and my brother
65,000.
closed. Me and my brother had closed like 3 homes at one time, and we were having a little difficult time for some reason. But they weren't on the market more than a month. And
Mhm.
all of a sudden, just three people showed up. I mean, it was like Christmas. It was like bam, bam, bam. And
Yeah,
thank goodness the parks were in close proximity to each other, not even 15 minutes down the road. And man, we were high-fiving each other all the way down the road, man, running back and
yeah,
forth to the bank. We were so excited. It was it was so yeah, it's just a season. It's just a season. I thought you would have like more of a horror story, but that, it's just a season. That's just stuff we have to go through. Nothing like a single family home, that's for sure. Because look, you
yeah.
say
That's
you're
for
paying
sure.
about $3,000 in lot rent. Could you imagine if you own several single family homes? I'm sure it'd have been more than $3,000.
Yeah, and that $3,000 was for 5 different homes.
Right.
So
Right.
some
Exactly.
people's mortgages at $3,000.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. So Lola, are you in the market to do any JVs or anything like that? Or
Yeah, I do JVs. Actually, I have a JV deal with a partner that one of my investor buddies. We have a home that we're marketing in Bridgeview, Illinois, and that's a JV deal too.
okay. And so how did that JV pan out? He had the mobile home, or are you trying to find a buyer, or how's that working out?
So she's
I mean she, I'm sorry. That
no,
was
you're
sexist. That
fine.
was sexist.
So she's based in North Carolina, and she was just trying to, get her feet wet in mobile home investing. I had just so happened to be coming into a couple deals and offers and whatnot, and
Uh-huh.
while increasing my relationships, and I had came across the home that we purchased for $250, $300, whatnot. Um, and we just partnered up. I'm like, I would like to give you the experience. We funded the renovation 50/50, and then upon sale, she'll get 30% of the profit.
Okay.
So she's kind of like a passive investor, I say. I do all of the footwork. Uh,
Okay.
she helps fund the renovation, and then she gets 30% of the profit if we
Okay.
make a profit. That's
Don't say
also so.
if. Don't say
Yeah.
if. Don't put that in the atmosphere.
No, I say if because I feel like some people think of mobile home investing, they're thinking of all these cash cows, but they're not thinking like, oh, your home isn't selling as fast as it is, or what if you have to break even, or what if you have to take a slight loss? So that's something that me and her had to, discuss. Just all of the what could go wrong, so that if it does happen, unfortunately, no one's blindsided, or she doesn't feel like
Right.
lost
Right.
money or something like that.
Right. So Lola, when y'all go into these deals, are you looking at, okay, you're looking at buying a home, and you're looking at the rehab, and then after all is said and done, let's just say you got excuse me, $10,000. Are you saying, hey, I'm not going to buy this if I don't think I can get 20,000? Like you're not going to buy it if you don't think you get 100% return on your money?
So initially, that's what it was. Um, when I initially purchased two of my homes, I went in saying, okay, I'm gonna buy this home and I'm gonna sell it for $25,000.
Okay.
Um, but once it came time to market it, that that's something that I also was a learning experience. I went in and I marketed it for 25,000. Like, hey, this
Mm-hmm.
is what I want.
Mm-hmm.
I got some inquiries, but it wasn't as much as I thought it should have been, especially compared to like my ghost ads and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, okay, I think this is priced too high. So it took me a couple weeks to figure out like what the sweet spot is. And now I'm able to, not just go off of like the park managers where, a park manager will tell you like, yeah, I sell these for $25,000. And then you're like, oh, okay, I can get 25. No, you need to sell it. You may need the price at like 16, $17,000
Mm-hmm.
to
Mm-hmm.
truly get, the traction that you
Right.
that you want.
Right. So Lola, you mentioned ghost ads. So you create ghost ads. Can you explain to us the reason why you do that?
Yeah, so I create a ghost ad to essentially build my buyers list. When I was first starting out, I didn't know any customers or, who was in the market to purchase a mobile home. So I used to go
Mm-hmm.
ad to, kind of generate that interest and get people to reach out to me and inquire if the mobile home is available. And, that's how I ended up, jotting down that contact information and, building my buyers list database.
No, okay. So you didn't have any kind of analysis paralysis. Once you found out about the course, you just took off running, or was there any type of hesitation on your part?
Oh no, I took off running.
Good for you. Good for you.
I took off running, and I learned from my mistakes, and then I just, we good selling now, so I'm good with it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it might have been a blessing that your husband lost his job, huh?
I really think that's what I always tell him that too. I don't believe anything is a coincidence. I'm like, I told him for a long time the job was a crutch. Like he was complacent with the job because they paid a decent wage and they gave free health care. The health care was nice, I will say, but they gave free health care and stuff like that. But he wouldn't have time at home. He couldn't do anything that he wanted to do, because when he get home, he has to, eat, shower, sleep. He didn't have time for the family. And when he did, it was at a cost of him getting sleep to go back to the job. So I think him losing his job was something to make him go outside of his comfort zone.
Hmm.
Here we are.
Wow. So Lola, you have children. Excuse me. Do you foresee like telling your children about the mobile home business or passing this down to them? Because I think this is just so lucrative, and it just amazes me how people are so have this, like negative thoughts about mobile home investing. Do you
I
foresee
know.
passing this down to your kids?
I do. And one of my newfound pet peeves is when people say, "Oh, a trailer park," and I'm like, we don't call it that. We call them mobile homes. But I foresee passing it down to my children. Anytime I can. They're in the mobile homes with us
Hmm.
while my husband is rehabbing or while I'm doing a showing. Showing the home to somebody. They're
Hmm.
there and they see it from when it's old, stinky, and smells like cat and dog, and then they see how we revamp it at the end, and they're like, "Wow, is this the same house?" So they're right there with us. Sometimes they're like, "Do we gotta go to the mobile home?" But yeah, but
Wow.
they'll get it. My kids are younger, 12, 4, and I have oh, he'll be 1 month in a couple weeks. I
Oh
mean,
boy.
not 1 month. I'm sorry, 1 year.
Oh, okay. I'm about to
Yeah,
say, woo, 1 month you take him to the
yeah.
mobile. Oh wow, so that's pretty impressive. So you got any secrets like mobile home secrets you want to share with us? Any kind of secrets concerning maybe wholesaling or seller financing?
Um,
Do you have a secret that you want to share with us that you don't think that we know?
mm,
What
what I
about
know.
negotiation? Is there any special way you negotiate with somebody?
So I like to situation where it was a bidding war for the property.
Hmm.
And that was a first for me. Uh, Trying to go between three different people in real time while still at the property to assess like, okay, who's this mobile home going to go to? And to be fully transparent, I I didn't lose the deal, but I lost some of the potential profit that I could have made on the deal because in retrospect, I felt like I could have did a little more to make sure that the buyers were qualified. You could post in your ad, must have A, B, C, D requirements to be approved by the park prior to purchasing. You can inquire in person and ask them like, hey, you don't have any bankruptcy or is your credit score at least a 600, and they'll say yes to you dead in your face. And then as soon as
Yep.
they want the offer, oh, I don't know if I can get approved, and it's like what?
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
No, the funny part, Lola, when I forgot I was incarcerated. What?
Oh,
How do you forget
yeah.
that?
Oh, I got a felony for 50 years
Yeah.
ago. Okay.
Uh,
Yeah,
that's fun.
so I think in that situation, what happened was I accepted, everybody did the bidding offer. It went from 5,000 to 8,200 actually. So I was due to gain about $4,200 from that wholesale deal. I took the highest offer. My other two buyers left. And then
Hmm.
once we gave her the application, like, hey, you have to fill these out. You have to meet these requirements, or you cannot live in this parking. You will not be approved. Oh, I don't think I can get that. So now my other two buyers left. So now I have to call my other two buyers back, like, hey, that deal fell through. Do you still want to go with your $8,000 offer? He's like, no, I want to go back to five. I'm like,
Right.
oh no. Just trying to do as much as you can to make sure that your buyers are like seriously vetted prior to accepting an offer. Yeah, that's yeah.
So Lola, so to make sure that they're vetted, what do you do? Do you check their credit or do you check their?
You know, this just happened Friday. I'm still thinking about that. My cousin is a real estate agent, and we brainstorm all the time how to like make the mobile home investing business better than it was yesterday.
Uh,
I really don't know. To be honest, I think in that situation, the buyer just should have been truthful. Like
right,
she didn't have to lie to me. To be honest,
right.
I didn't care what. Even gave her some creative ways to get approved, but you know.
Mm. So Lola, when you are wholesaling, do you ever let the buyer and the seller meet each other?
So in that situation Friday, the seller was in the kitchen.
Okay.
I let everyone meet. I just let them know like, hey, this is
Uh-huh.
the homeowner.
Mm.
This is her daughter. They currently live here. They've been living here for XYZ. They've done this type of repairs. And I just told everyone like, go ahead, feel free to walk through. And if you have any questions or concerns or, inquiries about the property, go ahead and just direct those questions to me. And
Okay.
it worked
All
out okay. And then when it came time to, bid and put an offer on the price, we did all of that outside in front of the home.
right. Okay. All right. Because you have already gotten both of them under contract. Really, you got the seller under contract, but you were working on assigning the contract to the buyer, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And so Lola, when you are looking at mobile homes, because you can probably care less what the mobile home looks like if you're just wholesaling it. But if you're looking at a mobile home you're trying to buy in whole, what would you say? No, I'm not buying that. Like if it has roof problems or problem, what you said no, I'm going to pass on that. Or because I know of an investor who just bought a 1 bedroom, 1 bath here in the state of Texas, and I'm not really sure how that's going to fly. Well, we have big families here. It's going to be hard to get rid of that one. So
Yeah.
what would you say? No, I wouldn't. No, that has too many problems or has a roof problem. Or what would you say no to if buying and holding a mobile home?
I would say, initially the soft spots intimidated me, but now I consider soft, especially since my husband knows how to do flooring, so I may be a little biased. But
Mm,
the soft spots don't really intimidate me. Now, if it's the entire home, no, because
right.
those 8x4s, um, those can get very expensive very fast. Sometimes they're
Hmm.
like $3 a piece. Um, so if it's an entire if the subfloor needs to be repaired and the entire trailer, that's something I would back away from. Um, I don't really like roofing issues. Now I'm fine with it if there was a previous roofing issue and it was repaired and
Mm,
you can inspect the roof and like the surrounding like windows and walls and you can tell if it's an old issue that's been remediated. So I'm
mm,
fine with those, that's more cosmetic, but if it's like an active leak, I like to see what's going on the roof. Is that something that I can put like cool seal on? You know,
Mm-hmm.
and it can be like, patched over, or is that something that may need like an whole entire roof, which is a big ticket item.
Right.
Oh, one more thing. Another silent killer that can like kill your budget is plumbing.
Mm-hmm.
The home that I purchased for $500, we were about 75 complete with the rehab, and they had just put in the new shower walls and shower fixtures and whatnot. And once they turned the water on, all of the water was like going everywhere in the bathroom. So they had to essentially take everything down, fix the piping in the wall, and then redo it. So that took us over like another $1,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So Lola, do you have, well, first of all, where do you see yourself 5 years from now in the mobile home business? Owning a park or just acquiring a bunch of mobile homes, or where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
Yeah, 5 years from now, I see myself. I really want to get into renting. I do like the seller financing. It's kind of like a cross between buying and holding and renting. But I actually want to get into a park that's investor friendly and allows me to rent.
Right.
um, I haven't found that many in Illinois, but I'm not giving up hope. Um, and then also, I want to dabble into mobile home parks, owning a mobile home park.
Right. All right. And so, Lola, we greatly appreciate you getting on here, but do you have any final words of encouragement, for somebody trying to get in this business? Because I see, students getting into, 50 million courses and they still don't do anything. Do you have any words of encouragement for somebody who might have like analysis paralysis?
I mean, consistency is key. You have to get out there in the field, you have to make yourself visible, whether it's, advertising with, hoodies or shirts that you buy and sell mobile homes, or, card magnets or whatnot. You have to make your presence known, because if you want to sit on the computer and do Facebook Marketplace ghost ads all day, it's just gonna hit a ceiling
Yeah,
really quick.
yeah. Because
Yeah.
I know I think a lot of people don't do even the ghost ads because they're afraid somebody gonna contact them. I think it's a fear of creating a ghost ad too. That's just amazing.
And I think that's normal too, because I remember I created the ghost ad, and the first couple days I'm like, hey, we can't show the home right now because it's doing repairs. Get back to us in 2 weeks. And then 2 weeks pass, and then everybody's like, where's the home? We want to come see it. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't know. So I think that's normal jitters, but just learn how to talk, and you'd be surprised, like knowing how to talk to people and things of that sort. You'd be surprised how that can get you out of a pickle sometimes.
Right, right, right. All right, Lola. So we greatly appreciate you being on here. So Lola, you had mentioned earlier you wouldn't mind doing a JV or something with somebody. How does somebody get in touch with you in case, they have a JV they might want to present to you?
And yeah, you can reach me on Facebook. My Facebook name is Lola HA. um, you can also reach me via email at legacy_ventures@outlook.com.
Okay.
And then I also have a Facebook page and Instagram. It's called Home Hunting Heroes.
Okay. All right. There you have it, guys. That's Lola Haynes, her and her husband. Lola, what was your husband's name? You didn't mention his
Oh
name.
yeah, I didn't say his name. My husband's name is DeAndre.
DeAndre.
Uh-huh.
DeAndre. Did I? I think I did.
Wait, say it again.
Did I ask you DeAndre? I probably
Uh-uh.
didn't.
No,
Okay, that's
my
another DeAndre.
husband. My husband. You remember him? He's a character.
Well, I'll get him next time. I'll get him next time. Thank you so much, Lola. And I'm gonna send you a message here soon. Thank you so much for being on here. Guys, this is Kelly
You're
from Heels, Deals,
welcome.
and Wheels Mobile Home Investing Course. All right, Lola, I'll talk to you in a minute.
All right.
All right, bye-bye.